But we have an amazing guest with us right now. She has an incredible voice. She's been on MTV with her song Revolution. I guess they kind of nixed her album, though, which kind of sucks. And, of course, she has the unofficial Ron Paul one that we just played. She's smoking hot, too, guys. It is Aimee Allen. Thank you for joining us, Aimee.
Hey, how you doing?
Great, and I just got to tell you, I love your message. I became aware of you about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago when someone posted your video on my MySpace page. And, I mean, you talk about a lot. I mean, you talk about the Bilderberg Group in that song.
I do talk about the Bilderberg Group, and nobody else seems to be talking about it. I mean, Alex Jones does, which, you know, is awesome. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, excellent. Well, did you just hear Alex bullhorning at Bilderberg?
No way!
Yeah, they're over there live right now, and if you go over to wearechange.org, they got a live video feed, and yeah, they got a couple hundred people out there. They got about 30 people outside right now, but a huge turnout, and it's so much of a turnout that the Bilderberg actually put out their first press release ever today, and it's a paragraph long. We read it earlier. And of course, they're meeting in secret for our good, Aimee. It's not to plan anything bad. And they say, well, there's not going to be a press conference, and the only reason that they're meeting secret is so they can talk openly and honestly. Now, why can't they talk openly and honestly about policy that's going to be passed in this country in front of the American people?
Yeah, and why? I mean, and why is it just so? I mean, this is amazing that they're doing a press release. And what, just a few days ago, Hillary had no idea what anyone was talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hillary doesn't know what Bilderberg is. She's been confronted on it a couple of times. Her husband has admitted to going. They even released the list this year. And let me name off some of the people that have been confirmed. Of course, Ben Bernanke, Federal Reserve Chairman, is there. Then we have David Rockefeller, like we always do. Paul Wolfowitz, Condi Rice is there officially. Tom Daschle.
It's just nauseating.
It really is nauseating that people that are even supposed to be on the quote-unquote other side of the spectrum, like Daschle, former Senate House Majority Leader for the Democrats, is there. You know, it just proves again and again and again that these two collude behind closed doors. They're going to have this big meeting of 125 to 140 people. We're going to pay for their iPods. I don't know if you saw that story.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we're going to pay for their iPods.
I just want to know what music they're listening to. I mean, is it just...
Hopefully it's your music.
Or, like, what are they listening to?
It's probably pretty satanic, hardcore. Anyway, so they're going to have this meeting, and this weekend with these people. Now, in a month, they're going to get together at the Bohemian Grove, where there's 3,000 of these people, and then they're going to dispense their agenda throughout those 3,000 people through compartmentalization, and then they're going to dispense it to their minions and so on, with only a partial part of the picture being known to each of these people. And again, they're deciding what's going to happen in our country for the next 12 months. And it's tragic to me. It's tragic to me that more people don't know.
It is, and that's exactly why I wrote the song. It's because you know, in talking to people, they just don't know. They just don't know about Bilderberg. They don't know about the global elites and the fact that they want to take our sovereignty and our constitutional rights, and they literally have the agenda of the North American Union. People don't know at all, and it's just like, it's so frustrating, and it's devastating to watch our country just sort of being brought to its knees systematically. Yeah,
through incrementalization. So what woke Aimee Allen up? What was it that have you been doing this for years? Have you always looked into this? Was there a certain film or book or television show?
No, I've always even going way back to high school. I actually spoke on C-SPAN.
Really?
In front of Congress about the decriminalization of marijuana. I've always sort of been an activist and wanting to create change, you know, and to get people to wake up. But when I was on Electra Records, what really sort of was interesting was I would pose questions about political questions about things that were going on.
All right, hold that thought because we have to go to break. We have Aimee Allen, Start a Revolution. We'll be back after this. Infowars.com. At the Command Center in Austin, Texas, I am Jason Burmis, subbing in for Alex Jones at the moment. I want to remind everybody to go to Infowars.com and pick up some of the videos, make copies, hand them out, get Terror Storm, get Martial Law, get my film, Loose Change 2nd Edition or Loose Change Final Cut. Make copies, hand them out. We need to wake up the masses. And we were talking about your time with Electra Records and what set you off there, Aimee.
Well, what happened is being on a major label is they really, they threatened me with not talking about politics. I mean, they basically said, like, we're not going to release the record if you continue.
And this is, I'd start a revolution if I could get up in the morning.
Right. Mm-hmm. And what happened is that because I had the word revolution in my title of my song, there's a lot of people that would go on my message boards and talk about revolution. And right after 9/11, the CIA called my record company and said, you have to take her message board down, or she has to either stop talking about what's going on, or using the word revolution, or else. I mean, I don't even know what the threat was.
So total censorship.
Huh?
Total censorship.
Total censorship. So I got a call from my label saying, you have to stop being political. We got a call from the CIA, and I was just, like, blown away. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? And so that really, so as soon as my record label folded, I thought that, doing the Ron Paul song was just such a release for me, because, I could finally, like, say what I wanted to say without,
So they, effectively censored you for almost 5 years?
Oh, well, yeah, well, they would not let me sign with another label. They held me, hostage.
Well, you're obviously very, very talented, and that's probably why they don't want this type of message to get out to the masses. And it's through song and pop culture that we really are able to wake up the most amount of people.
Exactly. And I'm so happy that, the videos had the response that it's had, that, we just, basically, we just had to do it. When we watched Lucian, who's the producer of the song, we're really good friends, and we just sat there and watched Freedom to Fascism together, and we watched parts of Zeitgeist, and we were just like, what are we going to do? And we were sitting there in our house, and we just looked at each other and like, gosh, I wish there was just something we could do. And there was silence. And then we just looked at each other and just laughed, and we're like, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let's just write a song right now. And because there was no other choice. It's like we had to say something.
So everybody in that video pretty much worked for pro bono, and it's an awesome video, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, what we realized is that, I live in West Hollywood, big gay community, and a lot of my friends are gay. Almost all my friends are gay guys.
Okay.
And if you're watching the mainstream media, they'll tell you that that the gay community is for Hillary Clinton, and that just wasn't the case, and that's just not the case, because there's a huge gay community for Ron Paul, because they understand, they want freedom just as much as the next person, and they knew that they could get married and there'd be so many more rights because the government would stay out of religion, which is what marriage is, a religious
Absolutely,
ceremony.
less government intrusion in their lives.
Exactly, and so pretty much everyone worked on the video was just super into Ron Paul, and they're like, let's do it, let's go. We got, with cinematographers and lighting, we got free everything because everyone wanted to help get the message out, and it was just so refreshing and just an awesome display.
And then you're also friends with the Suicide Girls, because they make a little bit of an appearance too, right?
Well, I host, I'm not a Suicide Girl, but I host a show on Indie 103.1 called Suicide Girls Radio. And so I get a chance to say, a lot of my take down the New World Order on the radio show.
What's that, on FM?
Yeah, 103.1 FM
excellent.
in Los Angeles.
Killer.
But the Suicide Girls, they're, I had to compete with the hip hop music videos. No, I'm kidding. I wanted to have the Suicide Girls on there because they're like punk rock. And
hey, a little sex appeal never hurts, right?
The sex appeal, get people's attention, because if people are a little dumbed down these days. If I, show a couple of cute girls in bikinis, maybe they'll listen to my message about the Bilderberger. But yeah, they're punk rock, and they, the owner of the Suicide Girls had, bikinis made up that says, Ron Paul, Suicide Girls love Ron Paul. Like, just had him, made him up just, for free, just because they're all, he's about smaller government, and they're about, they're just, Ron Paul is the punk rock candidate, and he is the voice of the people who really want real freedom,
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you. In fact, you know, I just got down to Austin, Texas a little less than 2 months ago for the very first time, and I'm from New York, and although there was a big, you know, Ron Paul movement in my community in New York, I never expected to come down here and just see Ron Paul on all these cars. I saw young people wearing Ron Paul T-shirts with ties on. I mean, I was just shocked that many people, especially younger people, you know, like UT kids, knew that Ron Paul was the only candidate that was going to offer freedom, the only candidate that was going to get us out of Iraq and Iran, the only candidate that was going to limit government, and the only candidate that's not a globalist.
Yeah, with a CFR agenda, and you know, the war on drugs is just, and that's just been a huge issue for me for many years. I just think it's so ridiculous.